Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome to centering our genial promoter tonight. He's not only Truth Newspaper's boxing writer, he's a former Victorian Amateur Football Association champion player, multimedia personality, manager of boxers, super promoter, and ladies and gentlemen, he's almost the equivalent of Eddie Maguire. Would you welcome Mr. Peter Maniatis, our promoter. Come on, a big round of applause for Peter Maniatis, Team Promotions. Congratulations, Peter. Peter, what a great card we've got tonight.
Yeah, welcome tonight. We've got a four-fight card. The first fight's going to be Shannon McMahon versus Dean Belbin over 4 by 2-minute rounds. Shannon's only had the 1 fight for 1 win. Dean Belbin's had 2 wins, 3 losses, but he's been in good company. The second fight of the night will be Daniel Lovett and Frank Choppa. Frank Choppa's been 4 and 5 rounds with Danny Green. He's been in with Jason Delisle. He's been in with Justin Crompton. He's been in with anyone that's any good in the country. Daniel Lovett's probably the best rising prospect in Australia at the moment. So that'll be the best. That'll be a fight and a half. The semi-main event's going to be for the Victorian heavyweight title between Adrian Stack and Paul Robinson. Stack is probably the most popular heavyweight in the country at the moment. Paul Robinson's going to be hard to beat because he's a southpaw. This fight could go either way. The main event is going to be for the Asian Pacific title. Nick Tetoros puts his title up on the line against Ben Smullen. Ben Smullen's had 20 amateur bouts. He's won national titles in the amateurs. He's been to Japan as a kickboxer. He's never been knocked out. He took the bout on 24-hour notice, so it's a big effort to jump in the ring and fight 12 rounds on 24 hours notice. But Nick puts everything on the line tonight, and Ben's got a shot at a title. He's got nothing to lose, so I think that fight will be pretty good too. I hope you enjoy the night.
And all of tonight's fights next Friday night on Channel 31 at 9:30. Channel 31, Friday night fights next Friday night. So see yourself on Channel 31 next Friday. Bit of music and we'll be back with our opening match of the evening.
Where are they? Somewhere back near the bar. They're on the last person table. Are they? Inside the ringside area of the bar. Are they on a table, are they? Yeah. Yeah. Are you physically there? Respectfully for shake hands.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome from Las Vegas, USA, Mr. Victor Aldemari. Good evening to you, Victor. Thank you for joining us from the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's all synchronized here, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, for those about to box, we salute you. For those about to rock, we salute you.
Can you hear me,
Let the good times roll. We're turning up the heat. We're going to sort the men from the boys. In center ring tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Maniatis, show 11, his 5th big show at Malvern City Hall. Howard Lee is my name. Sportsmark Enterprises. Boxing is my business, and business is good. Friday night fights, your boxing authority. We welcome fans and friends joining us on Channel 31. Friday night fights. Our judges for the opening bout, Andrew Campbell, Wayne Ashdown, Brian Membry. Your timekeeper at the bell, Damien Membry. Your ringside physician, Dr. Peter Lewis. Your promoter, Peter Maniatis, Team Promotions. And your referee in charge of the action for this 4-round interstate contest Mr. Con Costa Theodorou. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. Introducing first on my left in the Hotel Saville, South Yarra corner. Ladies and gentlemen, from Glenorchy, Hobart, Tasmania, with his mentor, Rod Davis. What a decorated amateur career this man had. He won 10 Tasmanian junior and senior amateur championships. Ladies and gentlemen, some sort of record in professional boxing. 5 bouts, 4 wins. Ladies and gentlemen, scaling 63.40 kilograms. Would you welcome Dean Psycho Belbin. In the blue corner, wearing trunks of blue and gold. And across the ring, occupying the red corner with Bobby Scrivano, former world-rated flyweight from Brunswick, Victoria. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 times amateur champion on the Team Brizzy shows at the Calabria Club in professional boxing. A sparkling debut here. Last year, he was the Sergi fight winner of the night. Tonight, wearing blue trunks with a touch of white and black. Ladies and gentlemen, 4.65 kilograms was his weight at the Ink Hotel. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome from Brunswick, Victoria, Shannon McMahon. Costa Theodorou, your referee.
Welcome everybody tonight at the
Peter
Malvern
Lewis in
Town
charge
Hall.
of the
Mariana's
ladies.
Promotions. Fine
Sean
round.
is your
We've
sound
got a
man
boxing
in charge of
coming
the door.
up here. A fine
Jump
fight
security.
night.
Jason,
I'm Stephen
your
J. Peake.
manager
I have with me
of
to
the
my
front.
left, Robert
Efren,
Cameron. Good to
we're coming up
see
for
you
round
tonight, Robert.
1.
And as always,
round
Stephen, how do
1.
you do, ladies and gentlemen? It'll be a wonderful night's boxing here tonight.
Certainly will, Robert, as we move into this first round of this welterweight contest between Shannon McMahon fighting in the red corner and Dean Belbin in the right corner. He's in the blue corner. At the moment there, Belbin exerting a little bit of stress on McMahon, but McMahon beautifully positioned there and moving around very well. Very athletic fellow. We've seen him here before. Had a big win first up in around December last year, Robert.
That's right, McMahon made a fantastic debut here at Malvern Town Hall last year. It was quite outstanding for a youngster to come in, and he was so impressive in his first fight, Stephen.
Yes, he certainly was. McMahon is in the blue trunks with white waistband and white pipings with a touch of black, and Belbin has the blue trunks, royal blue trunks with yellow piping. Belbin just tried a big looping right hand around the back of the head of McMahon, but it had no effect whatsoever, Robert.
But Belbin's come out very aggressively. He's really on the front foot at the moment. He's letting this lad know just who's boss, isn't he, Stephen?
Yes, he's going to take the fight up to McMahon because no doubt he knows Shannon. You would have seen the video, you'd say. Oh, left hand got caught under the esophagus region of Belbin by McMahon. Throws a right hand. And Belbin just ever so slightly now on the back foot from the forward-moving McMahon, I'd say.
McMahon has used his right hand extremely well. Now with the left, he's come in very well. Just got him on the jab, on the button there.
He certainly did. Gee, wish you got that American influence there, Robert, with that McMahon. But that's how they do it over there, don't they, with Vince McMahon from the wrestling. But Shannon McMahon, the right hand.
You knew it was a punch, and the poor lad is in quite a distressed state at the moment. In the hands of the ringside physician, Dr. Peter Lewis, and his assistant.
That was absolutely mammoth stuff, that. And Julian Holland has rolled up at ringside. He's here tonight. He'll be joining us more than likely within the next couple of bouts, and Misha Mertz will be doing some commentary as well here tonight.
As always, we have an outstanding commentary team here for your viewers.
Belbin is raising himself to his feet at this point. Peter Lewis is still conversing with him. The boy is looking a bit groggy. He's got the tongue out there, getting a bit of air, but he's on his feet now. But he was stunned quite heavily by that big right hand from this unbeaten young Victorian welterweight Shannon McMahon, Robert.
Well, McMahon has just gone from strength to strength. Now, I tipped this last time we saw him in his debut in professional boxing, Stephen. We predicted this lad would have a great future, and he has just demonstrated how good he is. And you'll notice the way that he caught Belbin completely unawares of that right hand, and it was an absolutely perfectly executed right hand. It dropped this lad with absolutely Christmas perfection. It was copybook stuff.
Copybook boxing skills shown by Shannon McMahon with that right hand, which was a straight right, and Belbin was open at the time, very open, and it found the mark. It just shows you the reflexes of McMahon to pick that spot at that particular point in time. It was as you said, a crisp, precise punch from a boy who has been taught the boxing skills. He is becoming a master of the sweet science. Shannon McMahon by Bobby Scrivano.
Yes, indeed he is. But I think also full marks to McMahon, because when you look at the way Belbin came out, but Belbin was the aggressor from the word go. He came out and he really took it up to McMahon, and McMahon wasn't fazed by that naked aggression from Belbin. He kept his cool and waited for the opening and had the perfect punch. And my word, wasn't it outstanding?
Oh, it certainly was. Yes, Belbin was the one who was pushing the fight in that round, did push the issue, but after about halfway through, McMahon ever so slightly started to gain the ascendancy just prior to that knockdown, and in fact, you may, when you listen back, you would have heard me make that comment. And we go to Howard Lee in ringside in the middle of the ring.
For all the announcements from
Thank you, Stephen Peake. From Channel 31 Boxing with Robert Cameron. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by knockout, 1 minute 39 seconds into round one, Shannon McMahon. Two out of two ain't bad, Shannon. Take us through. What punched that caused the knockout there? Was it a right hand or a left hand?
Straight right. Just caught him probably a bit cold. It's a bit unlucky, first round, but that's boxing. Hope he's all right. And,
Shannon, a big win again, twice here at Malvern, and you've got a big supporter base. A lot of fans here tonight supporting you on Channel 31 Boxing.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank all the fans for coming out, and also I'd like to give a special thanks to Daryl Ford and the Glenroy gym, all the boys down there, Quanny, Brock, Kane, all of them. And my corner, couldn't do it without them, Bobby, John and John.
Okay, a big winner, Shannon McMahon.
We'll return with the second bout we have tonight, which will be between Daniel Lovett, who has a lot of supporters here tonight, and Frank Choppa, who'll be in the blue corner. Robert?
Well, Daniel Lovett, of course, we saw last year on the Peter Maniatis team promotions show. And he
okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce many of the celebrities here tonight. Daniel Trentham, Australian silver medalist at the Taekwondo Sydney Olympics. His brother Sean Trentham from Fitzroy. Welcome to you guys. American-based Bobby Patterson, Bam Bam Patterson. Welcome to you. Pierre Karam, well-rated cruiserweight light heavyweight. Good evening to you, Pierre. Good luck in Sydney. Danny Carroll, Scott and Steve Pilson, Daryl Ford, Kenny James, Team Vukovic. Our lovely ladies, Stacey and Claire, carrying the numbers from Marmax with their person in charge, Emma. Welcome Team Brizzy, Sam and Cos. Their next big show coming up is the John Famishon Cup, and on April 11th they join with Murray Thompson at the Box Hill City Hall for a big night of Pro-Am boxing. Ben and Cos and Sammy Brizzy. Big show last Sunday, and coming up with Murray Thompson on Friday, April 11 at not Fort Knox, but Box Hill City Hall, Whitehorse Road. Welcome the great Sanctuary Lakes and Patterson Lakes team, Tony, Dean, Barry, Paul, Peter from Patterson Lakes, John, and Graham Sadley. Good evening to you, gentlemen. Thank you for your great ongoing support. Thank you, Cos. Graham, John, Peter, Paul, Barry, Dean, and Tony. Welcome to you guys. Russell Rowe, all the boys, thank you for your great support. Russell Rowe, former champion, AFL, VFL, VFA coach, Russell Rowe. Good on you, Russ, and all the team. Mark Finnegan, good evening to you, Mark. Troy Zantuck and his father, Ron. Evan Lakos. Mark Kwan. Frank Bianco, and the Hall of Fame dinner coming up on April 12. Here he comes in just a moment. Porky. Congratulations, AC/DC, for joining the International Music Hall of Fame. AC/DC, with the Righteous Brothers, admitted to the Hall of Fame, Music Hall of Fame. Well, welcome Tommy Davis, Amanda Buchanan. Oh, welcome international celebrity Kenny James. Good evening to you, Ken. Mr. Kwong, Dr. Kwong, our orthodontist. Good evening to you, Nick. Number 2, Frank Choppa and Daniel Lovett. Hotel Saville, South Yarra. Mr. Carrot, thank you for your great support. Commercial Road, Hotel Seville.
Robert, and I have also with us here tonight, Mr. Mertz is going to be commentating with us.
Yes, good
well-known
evening,
Herald Sun journalist and amateur female boxer. Good to see you, Miss him.
Good to see you too, Steve.
Please sit down, guys, afterwards, because the crowd behind you can't see. Not yet. No, when after Daniel comes out. So everybody behind you can see.
Well, there are a few, actually. You'd be surprised. They come here en masse. You can hear them in the background. By Jove, do they get behind their man in Cranbourne?
And here he comes.
Good to see Misha. He's had his hair elegantly manicured and coiffured for this evening's event.
Yeah, beautiful sort of dishevelled style he's got.
With the blonde tips in there.
Peter Maniatis has just informed me that he wishes to commentate this fight, so I'm out of the hot seat.
Oh, okay.
I'll stay here until he gets here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Maniatis Team Promotion proudly presents an interstate super middleweight contest. Scheduled 6 rounds of boxing. Your judges assigned for this bout under the 10-point maximum. Andrew Campbell, Wayne Ashdown, and Brian Membry. Your timekeeper at the bell, Damien. Welcome back to Malvern City Hall, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing first on my left, occupying the blue corner. He comes via the mighty city of Burnie on the northwest coast of Tasmania with his mentor, Jerry Meverton, former international and Olympic Games referee and judge. Ladies and gentlemen, he's fought some of the biggest names in Australian boxing. Josh Clemsaw, Danny the Green Machine, Jason Delisle. Ladies and gentlemen, comes to centre ring following a big win at Fort Knox this year. 16 professional fights, 7 wins, 9 losses. 4 big wins coming by way of knockout. Proudly wearing trunks of red, white and green with Greg Grogan in the corner. Would you welcome Tasmania's uncrowned champion, the Magic Man, Frank Choppa. Choppa. And across the ring, occupying the red corner with Team Slater, David, Brian and Jim from the Knox Boxing Club. He was a 2 times Victorian amateur champion, scaling 72.85 kilograms. The Cranbourne celebrity, wearing red and white, Daniel Porky Lovett. Your referee, Long John McCubbin. Here we go. Let's get it on. It's showtime.
I welcome the promoter, Peter Maniatis, to ringside. Peter, good to see you on a big night here at Malvern Town Hall for Maniatis Promotions.
Yes, thanks, Steve. I normally do the main event, but Porky's such a special talent. I want to be commentating this one.
This is going to be a fiery affair, this one. Lovett had a huge win here in December last year. He's had a huge crowd here.
Here we go, round one.
Sets them on their way. Big John McCubbin, the referee, as Choppa now bounces into action. Lovett looking very, very confident in the middle of the ring.
Choppa's a hard opponent to beat. He's been in with Danny Green, Jason Delisle, Ben Crumpton. He's been in with the best fighters in Australia.
And Lovett there goes straight to the midsection with that right hand. Nice little punch that.
Angelo Hyder called me on Thursday. He was in the car with Jeff Bennett. They were just about to go and play golf in Perth. They've got a show tomorrow night. And he used to train Frank Choppa, Angelo Hyder. He said, look, watch out, this kid can punch.
The Frank Choppa can box all right. He's had a couple of good stoushes over the last 2 or 3 years. This will be Lovett's toughest fight so far. Don't you worry about that.
This is Lovett's first step up in the game.
It really is, Peter. Lovett had that very auspicious debut a while back. He's a real crowd pleaser, Lovett. He's got the crowd right behind him, hasn't he, Peter?
Definitely.
Strong, tough-looking customer, Lovett, and trained by Jimmy Slater over there in the red corner.
Very popular lad down in Cranbourne, Lovett.
Just like Choppa slightly, but there seems to be all right. And McCubbin splits them. That was a big punch from Lovett. He's starting to measure Choppa. He's like, this is not top. Choppa's moving around trying to avoid that left hook. But that was an enormous punch from Lovett.
Don't underestimate Choppa, Steve.
I don't. He's moving away from Lovett at this point. Choppa. Frank needs to stabilise at this time of the fight. And Lovett in a scrimmage, McCubbin will split them. Big John McCubbin, he won't put up with any knocking around. And again, Lovett there now tangled up. Choppa did the right thing and grappled there with Lovett, but by golly, he's so heavy with his punching power, Lovett.
Working overtime, Lovett.
Lovett again with the right hand, caught Choppa in the esophagus. Hammering away in the corner, Lovett was smothered.
A couple of excellent rights there from Lovett.
Oh, right hand just missed. Would have put his head up in the canvas, that one, and the roof if he had hit him with that one. Lovett is, he's explosive, Peter. He's an explosive fighter, Lovett.
He's an excitement machine. He's exactly what Victorian boxing needs.
He really is, Peter.
He could be the next big hero, this kid.
A total crowd pleaser, and he's a scientist, isn't he, Peter?
He
Look
reminds me of Russell Crowe when they rolled him out in a Gladiator.
He's well on top in this first round. Well on top now on McCubbin. He's putting a standing 8 count on Choppa. Choppa's looking at his corner. He's bending over to get some oxygen. And doesn't look overly confident or happy at the moment, Frank Choppa. And there goes the bell for the end of a dominant Lovett first round. No doubt about that, Robert.
How did you score that, Stephen?
Oh, definite 10-9, no doubt about that.
Peter, Lovett is just another crowd pleaser. He really is the excitement machine of boxing, isn't he? And you're quite right, he's what Victorian boxing needs. You just couldn't get a better candidate. And he's such a draw card, Peter. The crowd just get right behind him. They come from far and wide. I mean, Cranbourne's a long way, and they don't hesitate to back their man. It's great, isn't it?
Well, you'd have to say that round was dominated by Daniel Lovett, save for about the first 20 seconds. From then on, when Lovett hit Choppa with that, I think it was a big right hand that just started the procession of punches.
Seconds out to round 2.
We need to see here as to whether or not Choppa's forces can regain some composure and he can fight his way back into this bout. 6 3-minute rounds. Round 2.
It's a tall order, Stephen. I mean, it's early days and he's clearly affected by the treatment that Lovett has given him.
No doubt about that, Robert. It's been devastating so far. Choppa's withstood the pressure of those punches, the power of them so far.
He's a tough boy, Frank Choppa. As we said, he's been in with Danny Green, Jason Delisle, Ben Crompton, big names.
A huge boxing pedigree, Peter. You just can't take it away from him, can you?
Lovett with that right hand again. Swinging into and you'll see Choppa has got a huge mouse and welt starting underneath your right eye. Won't cause him any big problems, but that's going to be is that a shiner and a half?
Oh, definitely a big mouse there, Stephen. That'll cause him problems if this bout goes the distance.
Need a block of ice on that tonight, that's for sure.
Oh, my word.
Lovett now dominating the fight from, he's forcing the issue, Lovett. He's chasing Choppa all round the ring.
Choppa's got, he's beaten Dean Gaither, Sergio Lalafilio. He's beaten some good names, Frank Choppa.
Oh, some outstanding people. A great boxing background. You know, as you said, Peter, a step up in class for Lovett, and he's handling it so well.
He's handling it, I'll borrow a line off you, he's handling it superbly.
He really is, and this is what boxing needs. This lad has got the potential to go all the way. He'll be boxing for a Commonwealth title before we know it.
Yep. He's a middleweight. He's got the power of a light heavy.
Oh, hasn't he? Look at his body. His body is just immaculately turned out. He is a peak of physical fitness, isn't he?
Well, I've done the work in the gym, noted about that.
Well, apparently he does prodigious work with his sparring and his attentions to combinations. He really thinks his combinations out. He knows when to strike whenever his opponent's exposed.
Now Choppa tying up Lovett. The Lovett crowd becoming exuberant in the background. They're a little bit impatient, I'd say, for their man. He's up against a good fighter here. This has got all the hallmarks of going the distance.
They should realise how awkward and tough Choppa is.
A very awkward opponent.
Well, you're quite right, Peter, and bear in mind we're only in the second round, and this is a bout that's scheduled to go 6 rounds.
He fought Danny Green and gave Danny Green 4 kilo, and, you know, lasted 4 rounds with Danny Green.
Well, that just tells you something, doesn't it? And I think you've got to bear in mind, Stephen, that Lovett doesn't need to push the pace up. He's on top, he's doing it comfortably. Just keep working away. As you see again, great right hand.
Yep, he keeps landing that right hand. That's an enormous punch for Lovett. It's a very strong, wicked roundhouse right hand that comes straight in on that cheekbone, and that's where he's doing the damage.
Totally effective, but don't take away from all his others. His exposition of the jab. Look at this.
Well, he started to measure Choppa there, but Choppa was did very well in that corner. He avoided 2 big rights, a straight right and a left jab. And a straight left. He avoided 3 of those 4 punches beautifully then, Choppa. And I'll give him some credit there. In fact, that round he tied Lovett up quite well, I thought. Tied him up beautifully.
I think I'd give our ringside hostess the credit here, Stephen. She's doing an excellent job.
Yes, I have the Spanish dancing ensemble on tonight, I'd say.
Need a few castanets and we'll be in business. No, but Stephen, I think you've got to bear in mind that, look, Choppa's a man of extraordinary experience. This is Lovett's, what is it, Peter? I think his second fight or third fight?
Third fight.
Yeah.
2 fights for 2 first-round knockouts.
And it's a big step up in class. And, you know, all he needs to do over 6 rounds is just measure Choppa and a bit more later in the bout. I mean, he'll really come.
Seconds out, round 3.
Yeah, that's an excellent assessment. There's no doubt about that. Round 3 coming up. Frank Choppa coming out of the blue corner. He has red trunks on with green and white frayed edges, and young Lovett, of course, with the red trunks and white bands across those trunks and a white waistband.
They're white lateral stripes, Stephen.
Well, not completely lateral, but you'd say angular stripes, Robert.
I disagree.
Lovett, of course, in excellent condition, physical condition. Both boys looking very fit now. Lovett, again, Choppa moving away and moving around. Probably a good idea from Choppa, so that he can unbalance Lovett with that right hand. That's the one he's got to stay away from, is that big right hand from Lovett.
He doesn't want Lovett to set. He just keeps moving Lovett around and sticking the jab out, being very awkward.
Yeah, what he's trying to do a bit at the moment,
He's
Peter's
too dangerous. Once Lovett sets and starts punching, he can knock you out, and Choppa knows that. So he's
Well, yes, he's getting frustrated already, Lovett. Dropped his gloves in for a minute because he's sick of Choppa just dancing. But he's got to get used to this because he's going to meet guys of all types when he's in the boxing ring.
Well, full marks to Choppa. It shows his experience. He's running out the feet.
I think it was a big left hook that time that they caught Choppa. A huge punch. Brought him to ground. He caught him moving. Choppa was moving and Lovett picked that move. A semaphore really that was moving that way. Now Choppa shows some aggression now. He realises he's going to have to throw some leather now on Lovett. And not a bad thing to do from Choppa to start attacking, I'd say.
That's Choppa's experience there. Any bloke who's copped a punch like Choppa did and can come back the way he did, he's still got...
Oh, big left hand from Choppa caught Lovett. It was a nice punch from Frank. And a bit of talking going on here between these two as well, I think.
Frank's been with us for a long time. He's a fantastic campaign. A lot of people have been down by this.
Oh, they wouldn't have got back up, but Peter.
He got up and had a wink to his corner. He's all right.
And he went in and had a go, Peter. He showed what he's made of.
Oh, Lovett, they just caught Choppa with the left hand right on the point of the jaw. But Choppa stood his ground. Great courage from Frank Choppa. And the Lovett corner told him to go after Choppa now. They've said he's there for the taking. That's what they were looking like they were passing on the message. But Frank Choppa looks like he's got plenty of gas in the tank. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, yeah, very, very fit boxer, and he can go the distance. You've got to wear him down, Stephen.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, Choppa moving around. I think Frank, if he can keep on the attack a bit, he'll be all right, I'd say. But he doesn't want to get into that position with Lovett chopping away at him.
Magnificent jab from Lovett.
Yeah, caught Frank, put himself in a stationary position, and that's no good for him with a guy like Lovett, who once he sets himself, he'll go after you. And again, he's chopping away. I think McMahon is going to put a standing 8 count again on Frank Choppa for that. And Lovett goes to the neutral corner, as the referee indicated, and now he brings them back together. Now, the bell again saves Choppa.
Well, I don't know that it saves him. I disagree. Choppa showed his professionalism, Stephen. He ran like a thief. He scientifically avoided a lot of the lethal combinations.
Oh, yes, yeah. When I say save, I didn't mean from a knockdown or anything, but from a further fusilage of punches, which he just received from Lovett, who was ready to move in again. So I think Frank was happy the bell went. It could mean he could regroup his forces, get his energy back and get back into his corner.
Which he'll do. Which he will do. Do not underestimate Frank Choppa.
Well, there's no one here at this table has underestimated Frank Choppa. He's might be behind on points, but he's still in this as long as he keeps away from Choppa by moving around and occasionally moves in on the attack and tries to deliver some heavy artillery himself. But if he just stands there, if he ever gets motionless, he's in big trouble.
How did you score that round, Stephen?
10-9 to Lovett. Again, Robert, I've got him 2 or 3 points up.
Absolutely exciting bout here tonight, Peter. You've done it once again. A wonderful match-up here to be commended. It really is the crowd puller of the night, isn't it?
Thank you, Robert.
These two lads have done a fantastic effort. It really is something, isn't it?
Now Lovett now is he's getting frustrated again. He just dropped the hands again to say, gee whiz, this bloke's irritating me. And no doubt he is, because that's his tactics.
Well, Choppa, as I said, is experienced, and that's where the science of this, the tactics come in.
That's a good point. Now Lovett's going to have to sort out for himself what he's going to do about that. He's got a moving target. He's got to measure himself and regroup to find some new tactics to combat that.
What you've got to do with a bloke like Choppa is get him on the ropes or in a corner. Don't let him run like a thief. That's something Lovett's got to learn. He'll pick it up quickly enough, and he's doing a good job. But you can't let a bloke like Choppa continue to run, which is he's doing it very well, Choppa. Look,
he's doing it very well. Well, I don't know what Lovett can do to chop. He's got to chop the corners off. He's got, as you said, he's got to pin him. It's hard to pin a guy who's moving around like that.
Well, in my day, Stephen, I'd charge him and get him into the ropes and hope I could get away with it without being pulled up by the referee.
Well, he's doing that now.
Porky can't be lazy. Choppa's throwing some sneaky right hands.
Oh, he is.
And then, well, he bounced back out again. I mean, Lovett is finding it difficult to pin Choppa to any ropes at this point in time. Which is a pat on the back for Choppa, because it means that he's frustrating Lovett, and Lovett can't tactically work that out.
Shows you what a professional Choppa is.
Oh, yes, a swinging right hand was a nice punch. And he's opened up Lovett's left eye. He's got an eye cut that's dripping into the eye there, Lovett. Yeah. Chompa's opened him up here. This is going to put a big effect on this fight at this point in time. The doctor will have a look at this at the end of the round, and that's a cut that's dripping right into that left eye. A big swinging right hand from Choppa did the damage.
Was it a headbutt?
I don't think so. I mean, I thought it was the swinging right hand. And again, Lovett gets caught with the left. Now, John McCubbin might even have a look at that eye in a minute. He's having a word to Choppa about something. Lovett, he's been frustrated here, Lovett. And Choppa, an experienced campaigner, showing good tactics here. That eye is, now where's the cut? Is it, I thought it was right above the eye. Could be to the side. Or is it a cheekbone cut? It's a bit hard to tell.
Just below the left eye, Steve.
Choppa moving around. Lovett unable to cut him off. He does catch him in the red corner. Going mad now, Lovett. Oh, a big right hand. They caught Choppa, but he got on the toes. Wow. I would say that Frank Choppa went very close to winning that round. Very, very close.
How did you score it, Stephen?
I'm still working it out, Robert, but gee whiz, I reckon that, well, he's opened up Lovett. We'll have to get an official decision on it. Peter Lewis is in the ring. He's looking at the boy. John McCubbin is having words to the Choppa camp. What about, I don't know at the moment. Howard Lee is asking John McCubbin what the cut was. And we'll see if we can get his attention here.
Stephen, you under it.
Oh, yeah. Under a punch. Headbutt. Seems like it was a headbutt. An accidental headbutt to Lovett.
Seconds out, round 5.
You were correct there, Peter. Peter Maniatis, our promoter, expert commentator ringside, was correct in that. It looks like that was an accidental headbutt because the fight goes on.
He called it as a clash of heads, Stephen.
Clash of heads?
Yes.
Only just at the end of that round, though, Robert. We didn't know during the round what it was, so I called a punch. But Howard Lee called John McCubbin over to get an official referee decision.
Stephen, I think it demonstrates just what a sweet science boxing is. You cannot predict what will happen. Anything can and will happen in this game. And a round or so ago, you had Choppa written off, and he's come right back. And even though it's an accidental clash of heads, it shows you just how the pendulum can swing in this sweet science of boxing.
That's correct. Anything can happen, we know that for sure. And Lovett now tries to pin Choppa in his own corner. And again, he's after Choppa here. A couple of skimming punches off the jaw of Choppa. Choppa can take that, and he keeps bouncing around. Oh, vicious right hand from Choppa, but Lovett beautifully ducked it, showed skill. That eye's bleeding again. I think there's a bit of blood there.
Not a great deal. There's a more of a mouse underneath it. There's not much blood dripping like when it initially opened up, Stephen.
Yeah, I'm still concerned about it, about where that, if it's causing him any trouble, but he seems to be all right, Lovett.
Oh, the lad's fine.
He's learning a lot off this fight. He's learning to settle. He's just a lot more balanced. He looks good, Porky.
He is, Peter, and look at the concentration on him. That is a picture of concentration. He is watching. He doesn't take his eyes off his man. He's looking for that opening, and he'll get it.
Yep, shaking his head a couple of times there, Lovett again, and Choppa sticks the glove out, and Lovett getting very frustrated now as looks like he's going to debate the issue with Choppa as he bounces around again.
Yeah, well, Choppa's running like a thief, and you can understand why he'd do that. He's making Lovett catch him. Yep. That's good boxing skills, Stephen. You've got to appreciate it.
I do, and in fact, I'm enjoying this contest because it just shows that Lovett has limitations on his tactics. That's what it shows.
Well, in my day, I'd charge him, and that's what Lovett's doing. That's the way you get Choppa. You charge him into a corner. I hope the referee...
He sneaks a sneaky right hand as you're coming in. You can walk into one doing that.
Yeah, but he can't cut him off because he doesn't seem to, well, have the skills at this point. I'm not bagging the kid, but...
well, it sounds like it.
Well, we're in round 5, and he had Choppa on toast in the first round, and Chompa's still here, so that shows that Lovett has been unable to come to terms with the tactics.
Well, I told you, don't underestimate Choppa, Stephen.
No, I'm not underestimating him, Robert. I'm just saying Lovett can't come to terms with his tactics. He has not come up with a solution. He just shakes his head and wants to debate the issue.
Yeah, well, since Choppa started running like a thief.
And the crowd, and that's a Lovett crowd, aren't happy with the tactics, but that's... the tactics to me are excellent. They've been thought out by the Choppa camp beautifully, I'd say, and that round was another even round.
Well, of course, Stephen, how did you score that?
Another even round, Robert. I've got rounds 4 and 5 even. The first 3 rounds going to Lovett, so he's still ahead on points because he did.
Well, one of the great fighters of Australia and internationally, the fighting farrier, the man from Bendigo, Julian Holland.
Man tonight, Stephen.
Commonwealth and Australian welterweight champion, Julian Holland, with mission there.
Sorry, Robert, I don't know.
Okay, seconds out. This is the 6th and final round.
Lovett's cut man is applying adrenaline to that cut. He seems to have a pretty good cut man in the corner. In my view, Keith Ellis Sr. would probably be the best cut man in the business, but Len Swetnam was always a good follow-up.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Look, they've done an excellent job on that eye. I thought last round he may have been affected by it somewhat, but he's okay now. He couldn't blame that at this point. So Choppa now, for the last round, 6 rounds, is bouncing around again. Now, Lovett, the pressure is on this kid. We know he's a big puncher. He had a great debut. He's now got to work out what he's going to do with this guy now. He's ahead on points just, but the job's ahead of him.
Oh, he's comfortably ahead on points, Stephen. The point I'm making is you had him written off in about round 3, Choppa. And,
no, I've never written Choppa off, Robert.
Oh,
never at any stage did I write Choppa off. In fact, he's done an excellent job of moving around and frustrating Lovett through from that first round when I was concerned about him. I was worried about him only at the end of the 3rd round after that fusilage of punches, but the bell went and gave him a chance to relax. But I've never, ever written off Frank Choppa.
You said Choppa was on toast.
I said he had him on toast in that fusilage of punches, but not for the fight, not at that point, not when the bell went and gave Choppa a chance to relax in the corner. So
you were demonstrably wrong with respect to Choppa.
Well,
he did not have him on toast.
Not at all. Never at any stage was I incorrect in that passage of fighting of 20 seconds worth of boxing when Lovett hit him 5 times when he was in a bit of difficulty. Now here comes John McCubbin. He's having a word to Choppa. Has he deducted any points? No, he's warned him. Now, I'd say he's warned him because
he didn't speak to the judges. He didn't speak to the judges, just a warning.
No, just a warning. I agree with you there. The warning was no doubt for his tactics. I'd say he's saying he's got to be more positive in his approach to the fighter. He would deduct a point. That's probably what he said.
Oh, come on, Stephen. You can run like a thief at any time. You and I have...
Well, Robert, if you've got another answer for that, for what did McCubbin say to him? What do you think he said to him?
It looked to me very much like he was having a bit of a go at him about some of the... you looked at...
Oh! Daniel Lovett caught Choppa with a big left hook. It's caught him on the ropes now, ripping into the rib cage, but McCubbin has pushed him back.
Oh, he's staying Choppa.
Choppa now has grappling with Lovett. Lovett not complaining, he's getting on with it. And Big John McCubbin is happy with what's going on here now. Choppa swinging a left hook, missed
one. Choppa. Choppa's running out of gas in the tank, Stephen. Oh, nice left to the head.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I think this fight's going to go the distance. No doubt about that now. It will go the distance unless Lovett, so 50-1 he gets in a punch, and there we go. Oh. And Frank Choppa has beautifully survived. A fantastic effort, great tactics. Did get a warning from the referee for those tactics, but it didn't cost him any mileage on the scorecard. And Daniel Lovett now talking to his corner. And I would say more than likely Lovett has got home on points but by no more than about 3 points, I would say.
If you got a final score there for us, Stephen. I have to echo Peter Maniatis' sentiments, Stephen, in that this is a big step up in class for young Lovett. It'll do him the world of good. Frank Choppa is a very experienced campaigner. He showed just what he's made of. He knows every trick in the book, and you can rest assured that Lovett will be very much the wiser boxer for that outing with Frank Choppa. In fact, as I said before, I have no doubt we'll see Lovett as a Commonwealth champion in due course, and in no small way his ability to achieve that Commonwealth belt will be assisted by this bout tonight. It really is a defining moment in Daniel Lovett's career, Steve.
Yes, although whereas after that first Lovett fight we thought this bloke is awesome and he's powerful, and he is very powerful. He struggled here tonight with tactics. No doubt the Slater brothers in his camp will address that issue, but he found himself after round one unable to come to terms with Chompa's tactics of constantly moving around this vast boxing ring, and Choppa has to be given all credit, knowing that he didn't have the strength of what Lovett's got to avoid a lot of heavy artillery, and he more than did his job. He survived that bout. I've got Lovett just winning on points.
Stephen, I disagree. I thought that Lovett was doing very well till the end of round 3, and you recall he standing out 8 count was applied by John McMahon on at least 2 occasions prior to the end of round 3. But after round 3, Choppa changed his tactics and started running like a thief, and Lovett couldn't deal with a boxer who wasn't dealing with him face on, going in there and fronting him. And when he had to chase Choppa, it was a novel approach to boxing. And this is some of the things you learn as a youngster. You've got to come across different tactics, the different science, the different combinations. And it took Lovett a while to come to grips with it. Towards the end of, or into the 6th round.
Okay, how about a big round of applause for Frank Choppa and
interviews.
Both fighters, please come to centre ring as we go to the scorecards. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Wayne Ashdown gives it 53-60. Judge Andrew Campbell 51-60. Judge Brian Membry 52-60. All for the winner from the red corner, Porky Daniel Lovett. Frank Choppa, look towards the camera. Frank, you're a very experienced fighter, fought some big names. Danny Green, Jason Dalal, but he's a tough son of a gun.
I reckon do enough work. I should have threw a few more punches, but anyway, another night.
Another night, Frank Choppa, the main man from Tassie. Okay, the traditional pre-cheers for Porky Lovett. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! It's a nasty eye there. Was that a punch or a head clash there?
Yeah. No, yeah, had a head clash just over here in the later rounds, but yeah, no, it's all good now. I've won, so that's what I come here for. Once again, just thanks Jimmy, all my corner, for all their help and time they put in with me. Yeah, just everyone that's helped me come up for. Like to thank everyone that's helped me out with sparring. Daryl Ford, always get sparring over at Glenroy. Yeah, just everyone that's helped out through training, and all my mates. Don't give me a hard time and come down to watch. Yeah, just everyone. Thanks a lot.
Daniel Lovett, Jimmy Slater, James Slater. John McCubbin, the referee, said to me, and he also said to Daniel, 6 rounds is very good. It's no good just stepping in there and blowing blokes away. He needed the work. He had to pace himself. There was 2 standing 8 counts and a knockdown, but he had to do the rounds, Jim.
Yeah, he had to do the rounds, Howard. I'll tell you what, I know that bloke was running a bit, but I reckon just about everybody in this crowd would be running the way he was getting hit.
come on, you know, like they booed the bloke, he put on, gave 100%. Yeah, I thought it was great for Daniel to get 6 3-minute rounds under his belt. He's only 19 years of age, for God's sake, you know, and what a talent. What a talent. He's the best.
Talking about talent, the man I want to introduce in centre ring. Look at his record, 88 fights, 8 losses, 4 draws, 65 wins coming by way of knockout. It goes back to 1987 when Bob Jones launched this young man from Altona North on the international stage during the America's Cup in Perth. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who speaks beautifully. He's a great craftsman, 8 times world super heavyweight champion in the world, now a business tycoon. With aid and abet, would you welcome the original, never mind Anthony Mundine. He's the original man, Stan the Man Longinidis. Tell us about your new business venture. I hear you on 3AW, on top rating 3AW.
I'd just like to say, I spoke to Tarek Solek about 2 weeks ago, and Tarek Solek asked me to let him know within 2 weeks whether I'm going to continue fighting or not. And I think I'm obligated to Tarek to at least officially announce whether I'm going to retire or not to Tarek, but it's pretty much the way I'm going to go. I'd like to say that after 21 years in the sport of kickboxing, I feel I was blessed with the talent and the courage to fight many opponents over the years. I always tried to be a positive role model for our sport. And, you know, after winning 8 world titles, I think I've achieved my dreams. And obviously on my last fight, I lacked the passion that I once had. So I think it's fitting for me to be, to pretty much bow out. But I'll officially announce that with Tarek. I think I'll owe that to Tarek at least. Well, yeah. Well, Nick Matthews is actually looking at me saying, what are you talking about? Well, one more he's thinking. But I'm not sure. I've got to make that decision, but pretty much I'm looking like I think I've had enough. I think 21 years I've had the good fortune, and I don't want to push it any further. I'm very lucky now to be involved with a firm called Aid and Abet, with a great position, you know, a great executive position. I'm lucky to get opportunities in more films, so I've got exciting years ahead of me. I think the 21 years I've given the sport is more than enough, and I hope people appreciate my effort.
The original man, Shannon the Man Longinidis. Okay, we'll be back with that 3-hour semi-main event. Pierre Karam will step up and talk about his next big match. Well ranked. Fought Demetrius Jenkins, who went on to win the Continental America's Championship. Pierre Karam, welcome back to Centre Ring, Pierre. When's your next big fight? We miss you in Melbourne.
Next fight happens on the 23rd of this month, next Sunday in Sydney. Fighting for the IBF Pacific Light Heavyweight title against Indonesian champion Tetoros.
Big match, Pierre. Now, you fought in Melbourne late last year. Take us through that way.
Yeah, it was just good to be back after winning a 2-year layoff. It's good to shake off a lot of ring rust, doing a name rounder. So it's just good to be back in Melbourne in front of the home crowd.
What do you think of the standard boxing tonight? Daniel Lovett, Shannon McMahon, 2 hot young prospects.
Great young prospects, really good for the sport, very good to see all the crowd here getting behind boxing. Real good job here by Peter Maniatis, the promoter, packing the place out tonight. Really good.
Good, Pierre. Good luck in Sydney Town. Pierre Karam fighting for an IBF Intercontinental Championship. We'll be back with our semi-main event to big boys of boxing. Mark Fitt. Your commentators at ringside, Stephen Peake, Robert J.B. Cameron and Misha S.K. Mers. Your judges, Wayne Ashdown, Andrew Campbell and Costa Theodorou. Your ringside physician, Dr. Peter Lewis. Members of the Professional Boxing Combat Sports Board at ringside, Secretariat, Bart McCarthy, Bob Todd, and 2 times Aussie champ, one of the fine young men of international boxing and now administration, Scott Brower. Ladies and gentlemen, we're turning up a little notch, a big notch, to the super duper heavyweight. We're ready to rumble with our semi-main event. Team Promotions, Peter Maniatis welcomes you to a fight for the vacant Victorian Heavyweight Championship, vacated by James Grimmer. The gentleman, James Grimmer, has vacated this championship. Both men, therefore, are challengers. Would you welcome first, on my left, occupying the blue corner. Ladies and gentlemen, in kickboxing, he's had 9 fights, 6 wins from the mighty township of Whittlesea, Victoria, with Bryce and Diamond Dale Westerman in the corner. Working out the Malvern Martial Arts Centre, ladies and gentlemen, he's getting 99.60 kilograms, wearing black trunks with white trim. Last year on the Slater Boys show, he demolished Tommy Hammer in professional boxing. 2 bouts, 1 win, 1 loss. Would you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet and greet Paul Ironman Robinson. And across the corner, across the ring in the red corner with Ray Giles, joining Matt Try from the underworld with Dave the Rock Hedgecock in the corner. This man comes to us originally from Eddie Maguire territory, the mighty Brody Ben Meadows. Then he moved to Reservoir, now based in Brunswick, Victoria, with a bevy of ladies supporting him in centering. Also joining him at ringside, the Brisbane Lions Premiership team with Chris Johnson at ringside. Tonight's getting 91.40 kilograms, known as the Rock Star, or Stacks of Wax. Ladies and gentlemen, in black trunks, black and blue, would you welcome Adrian, the Rock Star. 8 rounds of boxing. It takes a big man to handle a big fight. Long John McCubbin.
Righto, Paul, Staggy, I've spoken to both of you in the dressing rooms. I want a good fight. You're both experienced boys. Now, when I say break, I mean break. I don't mean have a look at each other and grab hold. I don't want to be pulling you apart all the time. Right, I want you boxing and working. All right, now shake hands and have a good one.
Oh, a big support base here for Adrian Stack and some members of the Pump Gymnasium here. I can see, yes.
Victorian Heavyweight Championship up for grabs.
And this should be a fantastic fight, this, Robert.
Damien Membry at the bell.
Has a big fan.
Tolling the bell. Round 1.
But down in the Underworld Gymnasium, I'd say for sure. So here we go now. Paul Robinson throwing out left hook and the right cross and working away, tangling up Stack there. And at the moment, it's been a bit of a grappling affair, Robert.
Now, Adrian Stack hasn't had long to prepare for a southpaw. He's been expecting to fight orthodox fighters. In fact, 2 have pulled out due to injury. And so he's had to have a quick study in tackling the southpaw.
Excellent. Mr. Mertz, our expert commentator here at ringside, sees Adrian Stack working out regularly at the Underworld Gymnasium.
Yes, Adrian's been working pretty hard. He's been getting a lot of good advice, good sound advice from some experienced pugilists down there at the Underworld.
Yes, no doubt about that. McCubbin splits them again at the moment. Pretty
That's about round 1. Welcome a young man who made his very promising debut last Sunday on the Team Brizzy Ben and Cos and Sammy show at Calabria Club, a sellout crowd of 1,500. Michael Oakes Rose. Good on you, Michael. Great debut last Sunday and met a very good opponent. He'll be back. Michael Oakes Rose. A very stylish debut in the presence of former world champ Barry Michael last Sunday at the Calabria Coliseum. We welcome Dr. Purley from Western Australia, joining Peter Lewis, Dr. Purley and Ryan Hodges, part of the medical team here tonight. Joining us, don't forget the Brute Force drinks. Great refreshment drink, Brute Force. Seconds out, round 2. We're in the heavyweight championship fight. Adrian Stack and Paul Robinson. Wow, we're underway.
Fighting for a Victorian title. If you can't get pumped for a top. He's ripped for a heavyweight.
Yep, no doubt about that.
He's looking immaculate, isn't he, Peter?
He's definitely done the work, Adrian Stack.
The other thing with Stack, he is always capable of unloading that big bomb that drops his opponent. He's got a stinging punch when it connects, hasn't he, Peter?
Yep, doing a lot of good work underneath there too, Stack.
We can't see a thing with Long John. He's always right in front of us.
Yes.
You'd think he'd be
Big John, well, he used to be a heavyweight fighter himself.
Throw a jab, Long John.
That's a good point. But, just before, Stack did some excellent work at the midsection of Robinson. Some scoring punches in there, no doubt at all.
Great referee, Long John. He refereed the world title, one of the undercard world title fights, and he doesn't take much crap, Long John. He's in there.
Oh, not at all. He's the boss of the ring. You don't muck with him, do you, Peter?
Stack at the moment doing a bit of defensive work there. He's tangling Robinson up, trying to knock the steam out of Robinson this round, I'd say.
He's also working away, looking for that opening. If you notice the way he's just pounding at it, just keep.
Oh. Robinson now being tangled up. Stack is doing the defensive tackling at the moment. He's tangling Robinson up and trying to work underneath. Robinson's trying to break away by getting body shots in underneath.
Also, too, I think the...
Oh, that's a slip.
Was a slip, yeah.
That's a slip. And Stan Longanides giving advice to Paul Robinson there about how to go about his tactics there at ringside. Fantastic to see Stan here after his recent fight against Gurgen Oskin at Vodafone Arena.
Fantastic effort there by Stan Longanides. Now the boys are just grappling. It's getting a bit messy at the moment.
It is messy. That's a good adjective to describe it with, Peter. No doubt about that.
Peter, I think that Robinson's starting to slow up a bit. He came out with a burst of fury and energy, and he's now starting to slow up appreciably. You notice his guard's down. He's puffing a little more. He's feeling the effects of it.
Yes.
Would he be a bit ring rusty, Stephen?
No, I don't think so. I actually think that Stack
That's
decided to go
round
defensive
2.
that round.
Happy
And
birthday, Felix,
decided to
50
tie
years young.
Robinson
Steve
up
Stenborg,
as much as he
38.
could to
And
stop
tomorrow,
Robinson
world
from,
champ Lester Ellis.
powering through in
as
these
his
early
38th
rounds.
birthday.
And
Many
a more
happies
defensive
to Master Blaster Lester
method
Ellis.
more than anything else.
Big
Robert.
birthday weekend. We're in centering here at Team Promotions. Peter Matiatis, his 10th big show
Dave Hedgecock
here
and
tonight.
Matty
Friday night
Try.
fights
Could not better
on
get a better corner
Channel
than that. That's second
31,
to none in the
your
world.
boxing authority. Channel 31 fights next Friday. We're
John
live
McCubbin had a word to Paul
with your host
Robinson,
Peter
and now he moves to
Matiatis,
Stack.
the Team
I think
Promotions
he's
king
told
of
both
the ring.
boys he's not too happy with the negative tying up, Peter.
Won't take much mucking around, Long John. He's right in there.
Yep, no doubt about that. Pretty even round, that.
How did you score that, Stephen?
Well, look, really, due to the lack of punches thrown and the tying up, it'd have to be even.
Seconds
that round.
out, round 3.
Now, I can't recall, Peter. When was Robinson's last fight? How long's it been between fights for him?
It was against Dean Mack in October the 4th at Moorabbin.
That's right, yeah.
He dropped a 6-round decision, took the bout on short notice.
Yeah. He might.
Oh! Robinson showboating there for a minute, and Stack mixes it with him. Oh! And then Robinson throwed a big left hand and has Stack on the ropes, backing him into the ropes, but Stack is valiantly fighting his way out. But good tactics there from Robinson to eventually put the pressure on Stack. Robinson's trying to avoid the tying up more than anything else. That's why he dropped his gloves, I'd say.
He's about 8 kilo heavier, Paul Robinson. He's a big boy.
Oh, he's enormous, isn't he?
Look, he may look as if he is carrying an extra 5 kilos, and it may not all be muscle, but I reckon he's deceptive with his stamina, Robinson. I think we're going to find this fight virtually go the distance. That's my tip at the moment.
He's got a big motor, a big gas tank there.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty to fill, Peter.
Like a big gas engine.
Well, Stacky turned him around there, trying to work away on the midsection on the ropes in the corner of the ring there, but McCubbin again splits them up. Those punches from Stack weren't hard, gentlemen.
One thing about Adrian Stack, Peter, he's once again a huge draw card for the crowd. He always pulls, particularly amongst the female boxing fans, a huge support, doesn't he?
He's happily engaged, Adrian Stack, with the lovely Samantha. He's been a great campaigner. He's been sparring Gurkhan Ozcan and a lot of the Russian fighters who run the undercard of Kostya. So he puts in the mold, Stack. He's a great player.
Oh, doesn't he? It shows in his physique.
Yeah, both these boys look like they've certainly prepared for this bout reasonably well, I'd say. No doubt about that.
I tell you what.
Stack of bad luck too, Stacky.
Oh, hasn't he?
Stack of bad luck. Injury-riddled career.
Well, remember that terrible lump he got on his head after that last fight he had here at Malvern against Bobby Patterson a while back. It was enormous. It looked like Mount Vesuvius.
No, and Robinson mauling Stack there on the far side of the ring. Mauled him then. Was all over him, and in fact you have to be careful either when the elbows come up that the damage can be done.
He was all over him like a cheap suit.
He was, wasn't he, Peter? I tell you what, Peter, there'd be a lot of women who'd be disappointed to hear the news that Stacky's engaged. He had a huge fan club last time he was here.
One of them's just slashed her wrists out the back.
Stacky opening up a bit now on Robinson around the rib cage area.
Snapping body shots to the rib cage.
That was an exciting combination.
It was, but don't forget, some of those punches did land on Robinson's arms, but some of them did get through.
Oh, no, they got on the belly, Stephen. He was working overtime on the belly.
Now, Robinson now responds there. He's got Stack backed into the ropes and managed to slip a couple there into the solar plexus, no doubt. Pretty even fight, this.
These boys are taking it up to one another.
No doubt about that. There's a lot of mauling going on again here. Robinson pushing Stack back with both arms. And now the bell goes for the end of round 3. And another fairly even round. That
Mr. Don Carrot, Hotel Seville of South Yarra, 5 Commercial Road, will step through the ropes, all being well, and present
Robinson
heavyweight championship belt.
Nearly got the better of that round, you know. I mean, it's either an even round or it's a Robinson round, I'd say, one or the other. Probably give it square, I'd say.
I'm looking at the moment. Bryce Burstwhistle is giving instructions to his charge. He is really on fire, Bryce, here. I can hear him shouting instructions to Robinson, discussing tactics, telling him what to do, telling him to use the uppercuts, Stephen. And it's interesting to note Bryce is giving that instruction to Robinson.
Yes.
And it's a punch tonight. We've seen very little of the uppercut, which is the most effective punch.
It is an effective punch, but you've got to remember this, that these boys are in too close,
seconds out,
and pushing each other, their bodies down, arms down each other. They can't get clean uppercuts in there too. There's just too much pressure going on in the clinches.
Oh, look, Stephen.
Whoa! The water. There's water everywhere here at ringside. The boys will have to clean that. That's dangerous. And they'll get the towel out now and give that a bit of a wipe.
Yeah, someone could slip on that, Steve.
Yeah, ice there too, so that's dangerous, that. Now the boys tangle up again, Stack and Robinson. Stack's trying to work away with the right hand on the solar plexus, the rib cage. Robinson has him tangled up on his right-hand side.
Robinson's looking for the uppercut. He got that instruction from Bryce Burstwhistle between rounds.
Yes.
Mark my words, look out for the uppercut. I'm sure it'll come, Steve.
Now, the only trouble is he's only got 2 arms, Robert, and at the moment they're all tangled up on Stack.
These boys are fantastic quality heavyweights.
Oh, they are, Peter.
They make it look so easy out there because heavyweights normally look sloppy, but these guys are really having a go.
Oh, that's a red-hot go, Peter.
These boys will be exhausted by the time this fight gets to round 8 because of their body pressure they're putting on each other, constantly pushing each other around like they're two bulls.
They've both got huge shoulders, huge across the shoulders.
Oh, they've got the equipment, and they've got hearts that are enormous. Now, there's some blood.
Oh, there's some blood here.
Yeah.
Now, where's it coming from? I'd say it's from Stack on to Robinson. So when he raises his head, we'll see. Where is it? Has he got a cut? Yes!
Stack.
A nasty cut underneath the right eye of Stack.
Left eye, Stephen.
Is it the left eye?
Yes.
Yes. Have a look at that in a minute. Yeah, you could be right there, Robert. I think you are, actually.
It looked like it could have come from a clash of heads again, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it, but...
Got hit with a sneaky uppercut there.
Robinson now. Robinson's using mammoth strength here, constantly pushing Stack back and then working into the body underneath. Stack valiantly trying to fend off some of those punches. Now, yes, under the left eye, that well turned into a cut, and I don't know how.
It is a mouse.
It's a mouse, and it looks nasty, but it's really harmless.
Yeah, just a mouse.
Yeah, just dripping the right way downwards, so as they all do.
It's a
and
mouse.
You can fix that in 2 seconds.
Yeah, nothing, that won't stop anyone from continuing on, so...
That's a mouse that's opened up. Any competent cut man will deal with it. You're right, Peter.
Ray Giles, great cut man in the corner. He's ready.
Yeah, he's got it ready already there, Peter.
Butt in the mouth, and he's chewing on the butt, Ray Giles.
He's got the adrenaline. He's got the adrenaline on it.
We hope he doesn't get excited and swallow that.
No risk of that. In a way, Ray Giles has probably replaced Keith Ellis Sr. as the best cut man in the business, I think, Peter.
Yep, Ray Giles is a man now.
Oh, and Stack now working away at the midsection of Robinson, trying to exert more authority here.
Oh boy, this bout's a Bobby Dazzler. Stack is really going in, isn't he?
This is even Steven. I cannot split them.
But look at Robinson pushing back with strength. It's just going to be like this for the rest of the fight.
Brute force.
But it shows you what a pro this boy Robinson is.
That's about round 4.
Yeah, that's right, Peter. He really demonstrates that he's got that experience under his belt. He knows every trick in the book. He knows the tactics. He knows the science. And that's what boxing's all about. How did you score that round, Stephen?
I gave that round to Robinson, 10-9. On the unofficial card, I thought he did more work in close than Stack. Stack was fending off a lot of the time, and Robinson was doing the work. Robinson was able to get punches in on Stack and was happy to indulge in a basically not so much a slugfest, but a pushing situation. Hard-pressed pushing situation where body pressure was used constantly. And to me, Robinson did enough work to deserve to just get home in that round.
I'm watching Bryce Burstwhistle give instructions
to Robinson,
and he said to work on the jab. 5. He's really emphasised to Robinson the need to effectively use the jab. I'll be very curious to see what Robinson's tactics are this round. Bryce was emphatic. Go for the jab. Now, Bryce is one of the scientific trainers in this business. He knows what it's all about. You can't pull the wool.
Referee
he is. Yeah, you're quite right, Peter. Couldn't get a better referee, could you?
No. Gee, these boys are superbly fit, and they're just... they look as fresh as daisies.
They do.
Yeah.
And Big John McCubbin, he asserts his authority on it, doesn't he, Peter?
Yep, definitely.
You won't pull the wool over his eyes either.
No.
Robinson just threw a bit of a lazy right hand. Stack was easily able to avoid that, and now they're back to where they were.
I do remember, Peter, as a young lad going to TV ringside every Monday night, and Big John boxed very regularly there. He was one of my favourites. He was a stalwart of TV
Popular
ringside.
light heavyweight, John McGovern.
Yeah.
Oh, a left, well, it was a straight left from Robinson, missed. Stack was able to avoid it. Clever work by Stack. Robinson again, straight left. Beautiful punch from Robinson. That did the job there. That was a nice straight left. A bit of a cagey punch there. It looked like it was going to be a right hand to start with, but that was the punch he used as a foxing mechanism and got the left hand straight into Stack.
Oh, he was foxing, Stephen. No doubt he was trying to lure Stack in. Yeah.
No doubt about that. But 1 point off. Now what's happening here, gentlemen?
Clash of heads.
He's taken a point off a fighter.
Looked like a clash of heads to me.
Well, he's taken a point off. We're trying to work out who's lost a point. But a point has been removed from one of the fighters here. He turned around to the judges and took a point off.
Who was it that took a minus a point?
I think it may have been off Stack, but I'm not 100% sure.
No, I think it was Paul Robinson.
That's what I thought, Peter, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. So
Bryce banged the canvas. He looked disgusted.
Bryce looked very
he's having
unhappy.
another warning here to Robinson.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Stack's breathing very hard here.
Bryce is less than happy about all this. You talk about foxing, Stephen. Some of the best foxing I've seen in recent times is Jimmy Cheetahs. He was a master of foxing in those great bouts he had against Heath Stenton. No one could fox better than Jimmy Cheetahs. Peter, have you got any plans to get Jim Cheetahs back on your any of your future events?
I'm always open to offers.
I've been trying to get him up here for a long time, Peter. I'm a big Cheetahs fan. He goes in like a
The
bomb.
bad boy. He's a good mate of mine, the bad boy.
Great mate of mine. I go down to Jim's gym in Grovedale whenever I'm in the neighbourhood, and he's one of the greats of boxing, Jim.
Say hello to me from me next time you see him.
I do. He
He's a
loves
great
the
guy.
sport, and he's a popular figure down in the Greater Geelong area.
Robinson has tied Stack up here. He's got the right arm over the Stack left arm and working away again
This
at
is
the
what you
midsection.
call craftsmanship. They're both trying to use body work to get a sneaky shot in.
Yes, that's well summed up.
Real manipulation of the bodies. One of them's looking for that bomb.
They're both big boys.
Oh,
And there goes the bell.
At the end of it either, Peter. How did you
That's
score that
round
round,
five.
Stephen?
Well, I'll have to find out about the point situation first. I'll be back in a second, gentlemen.
Oh, Bryce Burt Whistle is very upset.
John, who was the point taken off from? Who was taken off from? Who lost the point? Robinson.
We've clarified that situation, and Robinson has lost a point. So
Well, Bryce Burst Whistle has just given Robinson the rounds of the kitchen. He said to him it was stupid. I won't go into some of the more choice words that Bryce used, but he is very upset. Look at him. Bryce is absolutely waving his hands around. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Bryce is giving Robinson the biggest payout.
Seconds out, round 6.
Bryce is-
exuberant language. He's upset, Bryce, because Robinson wasn't following his instructions, and that's what the trainer's there for. And referee here not happy with the bird whistle corner either. So now here we go.
Stan was very upset, Peter. Boy, the atmosphere in this ring you could cut with a knife. The
Now
crowd
Stack
are-
turns Robinson around, Robert, just as you were talking there, and spun him around on the ropes. Clever work by Stack to do that, but now Robinson pushes back with just pure power.
This is like the half spin and turn.
It really is, Peter. Dave Hedgecock is screaming at his charge. Dave Hedgecock is really worked up. He's telling Stack to have a go. He's telling Stack to get out of there and have a crack at him.
Yeah,
Look at Hedgecock.
neither trainer, bunch of trainers are happy with their men at the moment.
Ray Giles is throwing in some gratuitous comments. Boy, that's some advice.
The best trainer in Australia, Ray Giles.
Yeah,
No
I
doubt
agree
about
with
that.
you there, Peter. I think we're out of dim on that one.
Oh, absolutely.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yep. Has some fantastic people under his camp. Love more to do still with him. Steve.
Julian Holland,
Yes,
Gavin Top,
Oh, yeah.
Julian Holland.
McGrail.
And Stack,
Stack's
Yep.
doing a bit of a half step and shuffle here.
He
He's gotta
was there,
get busy.
Peter.
He's got to get busy. This round's up for grabs. Whoever finishes strong will win the
Robinson,
round.
Robinson appears to be pushing the fight, Peter.
I thought he was auditioning for Strictly Ballroom there, Peter.
More underneath work being done by Stack here at the moment, being able to work some punches into the midsection of Robinson. And McCubbin talks to Robinson again.
And Bryce.
Whoa, big right hand from
big
Stack.
right
Just mislanded on, I think, the arm or shoulder of Robinson. There's a big punch he was trying to throw there. Robinson now showboating somewhat.
Bryce Burst Whistle telling him to calm down. Bryce is thumping the canvas.
Pushing left, punch straight left. Didn't do any damage whatsoever then, and Stack was able to move around and put Robinson into the neutral corner.
Bryce
Oh,
Burst Whistle.
clash of heads again there with the two boys.
Bryce Burst Whistle keeps saying, keep working him, keep working him.
Stan
And a nice jab there from Robinson underneath. Now McCubbin
is
pushing Robinson off again and saying he got ahead, but now there was a clash of heads there, but I don't know who caused it.
Over to you, Peter.
Stan Longanides is winking to the card girls. Very popular with the females, Stan Longanides.
He is. Well, mind you, they're very sexy card girls, Peter. I have to commend you on your choice of female attendees tonight.
My wife's here tonight, no comment.
Oh, okay. I can make those comments.
The blinkers and pacifiers are on.
The boys now, they've got to be careful with those heads. They've already got them together once in this round, and they've got to be super careful with that.
That's
and
about round 6.
My word, this is interesting. Now look at Bryce Birtwhistle now, the strategy he's telling Robinson.
Ray Giles is leaning in and just whacking into that mouse. He's doing a great job.
Well,
he's just sinking into it. I just saw him. He could not wait to sink into it.
He is the Premier Cut man. He really is. I think he's probably replaced Keith Ellis Sr. now as the best cut man in the business.
Keith Ellis Sr., he doesn't do as much anymore, does he?
No, he's pretty old,
inactive,
and he's pretty well in retirement, isn't he, Peter?
He was the best.
Yep.
He was the best.
Len Swetnam was always very good. I remember as a younger bloke, Len was just a stalwart in the corner. He could stop the flow of blood like you wouldn't imagine. How did you score that round, Stephen?
I gave that to Robinson. I thought he did more work in that round.
Seconds out as we approach round 7.
More the inside work by Robinson was slightly better than the work done by Stack in that round, because when they got in close, Robinson was able to deliver, I think, more punches to the midsection, stomach and rib cage of Stack. Only just, but enough to win the round, in my view.
He's a beautifully balanced boxer, Adrian Stack.
Oh, isn't he? Yeah.
I mean, look, gentlemen, Stack he's going to have to lift his work rate these next 2 rounds, something chronic to, I believe, overcome perhaps a slight advantage that Robinson's built up in points.
He may be, I rated at the moment, Robinson 1 round in front with 3 rounds to go. If Stack built
2 to go, 2 rounds left.
2 rounds to go, is it? Stack, he's got to win the next 2 rounds and he wins the title in my book.
Yes.
Oh, Stack over the top with the headlock on Robinson and slapping away at the lungs.
Robinson lost the point.
Well, he's already lost one earlier on, and Bryce Birtwhistle was most upset about it. Boy, oh boy. Bryce chastised Robinson in his corner between the rounds there and said, you know, you're stupid. What did you do that for? You don't need it.
Oh, more body work being done by both men there. Robinson missed with a right hand, and Stack fell into him, and the boys were very close with the heads. There's going to be more trouble with the heads if they get that close over the next 2 rounds.
Oh, I think you're overdoing it there a bit, Stephen. I mean, heads are part of boxing. Don't get too worked up about it.
That's dangerous, very dangerous when they get that close.
Oh, we all cop the odd cut from that.
Now both boys leaning into each other. McMahon will split them.
They're both barreling into each other, doing the body work. That takes a lot of energy.
Both boys showing a ton of courage here. They're not afraid to mix it.
A combination.
Stack working away hard on Robinson, but it doesn't stop him from pushing him into the ropes.
That's good tactics by Robinson.
Score and punches by Adrian Stack.
Stack was working overtime on the belly, and Robinson forced him into the ropes. McMahon had to break him up. Very clever.
He's barreling into him.
Stack's trying to throw everything he's got at him, but Robinson stood there to take it. He's doing rope-a-dope, Robinson, for a moment.
Oh, Stack leaned on him. That was intelligent from Robinson, because Stack had the dominance of the punches.
Oh, solid right by Robinson then, Robert, too, just as Stack was coming in. He got met with it right in the jaw.
Yeah. Robinson is a very good scientific boxer. He uses every trick in the book. Bryce Birtwhistle is giving him advice all the time from the apron. Did you notice that?
This is what heavyweight
does. Oh, boy, what was that? Oh, Dave Hedgecock is... Oh, Hedgecock's in the ring.
No.
Hedgecock's not happy with Robinson.
No.
Oh, hell. Oh, hell's broken loose here. Robinson trying to get away from Dave Hedgecock, who's jumped into the ring. Bryce, Matt Tryhe has grabbed Dave Hedgecock, and water bottles into the ring. So, someone's throwing water bottles at Robinson.
Dave, come on, Dave, come on. 1 round to go, Dave Hedgecock, Dave, stop that.
It's Howard Lee calling for him. There's
no
throwing water stuff into the ring, and they've got to cut that out over there and stop throwing missiles into the ring. That doesn't get anyone anywhere. As far as that's concerned,
Dave's got to get out of the ring. All right.
and get this rubbish out of the ring so we can get on with the fight. Dave said he's got to settle
Security,
down.
could you come down here, please? Security, could you please come?
At the moment, Bryce Birdwhistle having a word to Dave Hedgecock, and he's coming back at Bryce. But Bryce Birdwhistle has to get out of the ring here as well. Disqualified. The fight has been disqualified here at ringside. Totally disqualified. And that's what's happened here tonight in this fight. Stan Longanides is now talking to Dave Hedgecock, who's still very upset.
He's extremely upset.
And Nick Matthew also over there to assist Dave with what's been happening here. Dave Hedgecock. Now that was brought about. He got upset with an attack of Robinson towards Stack, where he seemed to jump at him. I was blocked by McCubbin. I couldn't see the result of that, but at the moment Matt Tryhe is talking to Dave Hedgecock, who's very upset at ringside.
He's very emotional.
And he's very emotional there at the moment, and I hope he's all right. Robinson, Stack is being at the moment spoken
Ladies
to
and
by the
gentlemen,
doctor.
we have to resolve this. There's going to be discussion between referee John McCubbin and board members of the Professional Boxing and Combat Sports Board. The bout officially finished 2 minutes 59 seconds into round 7. Is that right, Andrew? 2 minutes 59 seconds. We're going to have to talk some discussion to resolve this issue.
Well, John McCubbin, the referee, has disqualified both fighters.
But it was also by order of the board, Stephen, under the boxing and martial arts legislation in the state. The board.
They have the power, and if they say it's a total all-round disqualification, that's what it'll be. You can't. Well, the decision's been made. The fight can't go on. The boys are in a position where they can now leave the ring, and I think the best thing to do would be to send them to the rooms, I'd say.
Look, Bryce Birdwhistle is fuming. He's upset. In fact, I thought he wanted to take Hedgecock on as well. It got very heated there for a moment.
Now, there's no...
Almost unprecedented in boxing this. We've got to resolve it. Please be patient, ladies and gentlemen. Something out of the ordinary. We can't call it unique. Mr. Don Caro from Hotel Seville, would you come up please with the heavyweight championship belt? We have a decision, we'll tell you in just a moment. Mr. Don Caro.
Well, there could be some other developments here because the heavyweight belt is for the Victorian heavyweight title is being brought into the ring, I think, at the moment. So I don't know what's going to happen here because the referee had indicated to our commentary area that both fighters were being disqualified. So I'm totally unsure of what's taking place as we speak.
Well, we'll wait an announcement by order of the board, and bear in mind the board can adjudicate on this under the Victorian boxing and martial arts legislation, Stephen.
Can we have security at ringside, please? Can we have security officers
Howard Lee
at
has called
ringside,
for
please?
security at ringside, folks.
I think the atmosphere has cooled down at this point.
It's cooled down somewhat. Peter Maniata speaking to Big John McCubbin. We have Don Ho with the belt in his hands at the moment.
John McCubbin, 2 minutes 59 seconds into round 7. Just take me through that, take the audience through that, John, on Channel 31, Friday Night Fights.
Well, it's one of those things that happens in boxing not so often, but if we're going to have a bit of silence, please. Down there in the corner, David. What happened was over in this corner, over in the blue corner, he ran out with a lethal headbutt. That was bad enough. Dave didn't give me enough time to jump in and sort it out. Dave jumped in the ring, and the worst thing in the world a bloke can do in the corner is jump in the ring. I know his emotions are high. I've known Dave for a long time. But we went to the board, we asked the board. Now, Stacky had to be disqualified. Now listen. Hey, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. 1 second, please. Now look, rules are the rules. And these are the rules. We've gone to the board, and that's what's happening. Hang on, Stacky. Now look, This is, hang on. Now look, all right, there's a disagreement tonight, right? Disagreement tonight, but then again, it's going to be a rematch, and it'll be a better fight, all right? Come on.
Well spoken by John McCubbin. That's the rules.
Oh, yes.
Therefore, the new Victorian heavyweight champion by disqualification, Paul Robinson.
Here's Dave Hedgecock arguing with Howard Lee.
Dave Hedgecock is in the ring talking to Howard Lee.
Howard.
He's cooled down somewhat from 5 minutes ago. And Dr. Peter Lewis is there as well, assisting.
Firstly, I'd just like to say, why should my fighter be penalised for something I've done? If the board wants to penalise anybody, penalise me. Okay, I'll cop whatever you want to give. But don't penalise my fighter. This bloke did nothing, and I know Paul, and I respect Paul, but all he did was ram his head into my fighter's face dozens and dozens of times. Now, if the referee isn't going to do something about it, someone's got to. If the board isn't going to let that go, you won't have any fights. But don't penalise my fighter, penalise me.
Darryl, move away, please. Darryl, Bryce Birdwhistle with Paul Robinson.
Here's
As
Bryce
John McCubbin
Birdwhistle.
beautifully said, sorry, Mr. Security Man. Bryce, how did you see that?
Look, you know, I got to be honest. I reprimanded Paul earlier in the fight for using too much of his head inside. It is boxing, it happens. All right. What Paul actually did, I know to all intents and purposes, it looked like he charged him with his head, but Paul has this double-handed like hook shot. So he stands here and now, hang on a sec. If you want to hear, I'm only explaining to you. All right. I know what it looks like. I'm telling you, he does it when I've seen him spar. It's a bullshit thing. I don't agree with it. I reckon it's a waste of talent. All right. I understand Dave's anger. All right. And I sympathise with him. But I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart, he didn't try to headbutt him. He tried to double hook him. It's not the prettiest technique in the world, but take me on my word, he wasn't trying to charge him with his head. I promise you that. All right. So I know you're all disgruntled. I'm not happy with Paul because he's caused this stink in the boxing circles, all right? We don't need this crap in the boxing. I'll have a word to him out the back. We were more than happy to give Stacky a rematch. It was a good fight. It could have gone any way. You know, what can I say? I apologise as a trainer for my fighter. He shouldn't have done what he did. Although it was a legitimate punch. Stan, the man's there. Stan's trained with him. He knows he does this stuff. He knows he does this double hook. I know it looked bad, so I apologise, but I promise you, he did not deliberately try and charge him with his head. I swear to God, all right? Dave knows me. He knows I'm a man of my word, and that's the end of it.
Paul Robinson, final word from you.
I just want to apologise to everybody. I didn't come in with my head intentionally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul Robinson.
Well, what a controversy that was, Stephen.
Paul, your championship belt. Okay, bit of music, thank you, gentlemen, and we're coming back with an auction. What a controversial finish, but the rules are the rules. No doubt there'll be a rematch, Robert. Okay, thank you, Mr. Garreau.
Well, if you listen to Bryce
all the fighters have been
Birdwhistle,
staying. Before you go, Mr. Garreau, tell us about Hotel Seville.
Look at the passion that Bryce Birdwhistle expressed with which he expressed his boy's point of view. You mightn't agree with him, and I can understand that.
Thank you very much for supporting Team Promotions. Thank you, ladies.
Bryce Birdwhistle had the guts to front the crowd, and it was a hostile crowd, and explain his and his boy's point of view, and that's the passion with which Bryce Birdwhistle approaches boxing. He's always been a man who brings the best.
Yeah, well, it's obvious that we're going to have a word with Stan Longanidis later on to see what he says about it all, but he's been training with Robinson, and maybe that tactic was part of Robinson's training procedure. Who knows?
Well, whether it was or it wasn't, you've got to have a lot of sympathy for Dave Hedgecock. He sticks up for his boy, you know, and he saw a clash of heads. He took the view that it was wrong. He said the referee didn't do anything about it, and he said if the board is going to have a crack at me, not my boy. And I mean, that's what Dave's all about. Dave's got loyalty, he's got guts. And they're the fine attributes of boxing. And I say, don't have a crack at Dave. You can't blame him for that.
No, I know. Look, I think the situation's cooled itself, and the board members are no doubt going to have in full discussion as we speak, Robert.
Well, look, I know you're the eyes and ears of the board, Stephen. You can go and get some intelligence for our viewers and bring it back to us at the next fight.
I'm going to seek out some information, Robert, and we'll be back for the main event in about 10 minutes.
Look forward to it, viewers. Cheerio.
Photograph of Stand the Man. Jason, you've got some good products to market here.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a couple of auction items here tonight. We have a pair of Sportsmaster gloves signed by Kostjazoo. Kostjazoo, these gloves were signed by Kostjazoo. We're going to auction these off tonight. The highest bidder will get them. We have any bids to start us off? At 5, is there 50, 100, anywhere? 100 now. 150, 150, now I have bid. 150 I have bid, now looking for 175. 150, 175 now over here. 175 I have bid. 175, any advance on 175? 200 now. 200, the bid's out the front. 200 I have bid. Any advance on 200? Is there 225 anywhere? 200 I have bid right at the front here. 200, we're going to sell them pretty quick here. 200 is the bid. Any advance? 225. 225, 250. Now 75, 275, now 300. 300, no, 275 if the bid is over here. 275, first call, 270, 300 now. 300 now, the bid is right here at 300. 325, 325, now 350. 325, now I'm looking through 350. Now 75. Now 75, I have 75. Now 400. 400 I have bid now at a quarter. 400, it's over here, the two bids are over here. 400 I have bid over here. 25. I have 425, now 450. 425, do I have another quarter? 425, bid is 50. 425, the bid's right here. First call, 425, it's over here. First call, 425, any advance on 425. Looking for 450. 425, it's with you, sir, at 425. 450, 450. Yes, 450. Now 475. 450's over here, it's behind me. Do we go to 475? No, we're out at 475. 450 is the bid, right here, right at the front. 450, first call at 450. First call, 450, right here. Second call, fair and final warning, we're going to sell at 450, right here, 450. Last chance, done, all done. 450, thank you, sir. Bids right here. Okay, well, for those of you who missed out here on the Kostjazoo set of gloves, now we have something really special. A Kostjazoo head mask. Kostjazoo head mask. Now this is also signed by Kostja's last opponent, the man from Houston, who Kostja defeated last month at the tennis center. We have the head mask worn by Kostjazoo, signed by Kostjazoo, and signed, autographed personally by his opponent. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great memento, great gift, a great thing to have in the trophy room. A Kostjazoo signed head guard, everlast head guard. Ladies and gentlemen, where do we want to start? You missed out last time. Do you have a bid at 100? 100 somewhere? Is there 100 somewhere? Yeah, got 100. Is there 150 to keep going? 150 now. 100 to bid, 150 now. Is there 150 anywhere? I have 100. Don't let it buy in the bid. 150. Have 150 now. Now 300. Now 300. Here we go. 300 now for the Kostjazoo head mask. 300. 300. Now 25. 325, 325 bid right here. Right next door, 350. 375, now 400. 375, it's right here. Right again, 400 now. Quarter, you're out, sir. 425. 425, you're out at 425. You're right here, sir, at 425. Give me another quarter if you want to take home this great memento. 425, first call. First call at 4 1/4. 425. 450 if you want it. 425 is the bid. First chance, first call, 425. Are we all silent? Are we all done at 4 1/4? 425 is the third and final call. Done. Where do we have a bid? 425. Done. All done. 425. Thank you, sir. Okay, this is the last one before we go on with the show, I think. This is the Kostjazoo VIP Sports Glove. Your last chance to get a Kostjazoo memento from tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a single glove. Where are we going to start? Where are we going to start? 100? 50? 100 anywhere? 50? Give me 50? 75? 75 I have bid now. 75, is there 100? 100 now bid, thank you, sir. Now 125, is there a 25? A quarter. 100 I have bid right here. He's got the last item, he might get it very cheap. 100 bid. It's right here, 100. Anyone else? 100, first call. Kostjazoo. Kostjazoo. 125 now. 125 against you. 150. Now 175. Right here, sir. 200. 200 bid now. 2 1/4. 225. 225. Looking for another quarter. 225 is at 250. 250 right here, sir. 250 bid right here. Fourth row from the front. 250. 250 and advance on 250. First call 250. Second call 250. Are we all silent? Are we all done? 250. 275? 275 now. 275 against you, sir. 275. We go to 300. 275, the bid's right here. 275. First call. Second call, $275. Third and final call. Are we all silent? Are we all done? 275 to you. 275. Okay. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. We'll pass you back to Howard Lee now.
From New York, New York, Jason, beautiful job with Kostjazoo. We're coming back with our main event, 12 rounds of boxing for the World Boxing Organization, Asia Pacific Junior Welterweight Championship. The challenger, Ben T.C. Smullen and Terra Nick Tetoros. We're going to have a tribute to the late Cliff Heaver and the delightful Leanne Pereira Maniatis will sing our national anthem. Said his job would entail fights in the Asia Pacific Rim. The WBF has been out of the limelight a little bit since the two great fighters, Dave Russell and Craig Trotter, captured world championships at Ferntree Gully when they beat Dan Murphy and Tommy Small. Mr. Croucher won 20 out of 30 fights and is a director of Croucher Property Development. Will be staging world championship fights in Melbourne. Possible. We're coming up with our main event of the evening. We're going to pay tribute to the late Cliff Heaver, and the voluptuous Leanne Pereira Maniatis will sing our national anthem. T.C. Smullen. Ladies and gentlemen, before our main event of the evening, proudly brought to you by Team Promotions, Peter Mandiatis, show number 10, and the 5th big extravaganza at Malvern. Friday night fights, your boxing authority on Channel 31. Next Friday night, a replay at 9:30 in the night. Ladies and gentlemen, could you be please upstanding, and could I have absolute silence as we pay tribute, and then Leanne Maniatis will entertain you with the Australian National Anthem. Could I have absolute silence as a mark of respect to the loss of one of Australia's finest judges. Ladies and gentlemen, recently we lost a man who was 85 years young. His name was Cliff Heaver, James Clifford Cliff Heaver. He was a boxing man for 60 years. He charged some of the greatest fights in modern-day Australian boxing history. Claude Noel, Barry Michael, Commonwealth Lightweight Championship in 1982. The famous Hank Stanley, Barry Michael, Frank Ropus, Ash Wednesday at the Melbourne Town Hall, where the temperature reached 55 degrees in the City Hall. He also did the famous IBF Super Lightweight Championship of the World, Lester Ellis and Barry Michael in 1985. Australian Boxing Federation President Brian Membry said Cliff Heaver was one of boxing's true gentlemen, and his judgment in scoring fights was particularly accurate. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless Cliff Heaver, former Australian legendary judge. Damon Membry will toll the bell 10 times in memory of the late Cliff Heaver. Shh. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain standing and introduce the lovely Leanne Maniatis for the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea, our land about in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair, in joyful strains, and let us sing, advance Australia fair. Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne. Ladies and gentlemen, our judges assigned under the 10-point must system for this championship fight, 12 rounds of boxing, Andrew Campbell, Brian Membry, and Wayne Ashdown. Representing the Professional Boxing and Martial Arts Board, Combat Sports Board, we welcome Chairman Bernard Balmer, Bob Todd, and Mr. Bart McCarthy. Your ringside physician, Dr. Peter Lewis and Dr. Purley from Western Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our main event, 12 rounds of boxing for the World Boxing Organization Asia Pacific Junior Welterweight Championship. When the bell tells for the first of 12 rounds, your man in charge of the action, Long John McCubbin. Howard Lee says, would you welcome first, occupying the blue corner, working out of the underground with Julian Holland and Sam Solomon, with Steve Stemborg and world champ Amanda Cannon Buchanan in the corner. In kickboxing, 24 fights, 14 wins, former amateur champion of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, stepping in at the 11th hour after only one professional fight. He's not daunted. He's not in touch with reality. He certainly is. Originally from Shepparton, now based in Northcote, Victoria, scaling 63.45 kilograms, wearing trunks of red, white and gold with the bull, the raging bull on the front. Would you welcome the challenger, Ben T.C. Smullen. And across the ring, occupying the red corner, with the big galaxy of greats in the corner, including Jim Dimitri Tetoros from Box Hill North. He's the proudest son. He's, in fact, the Malvern City Hall's favourite son. Tonight, scaling 63.55 kilograms, ranked by the WBO number 8 challenger in the world, with a professional record of 16 fights, 14 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. 8 big wins coming by way of knockout. Wearing blue with white, ladies and gentlemen, what's up, Doc? Doctor, give me the news. Defending champion, Nick the Terror Tetoros. John McCubbin, 12 rounds of boxing.
Now listen, boys, I never got to speak to you, Nick. I don't want no hanging on. When I say break, I mean break straight away.
Now
if either of you get knocked down, the neutral corner over there, straight away. All right? But when I say break, I mean break. No punching on the break for either of you. All right? Shake hands and have a good one.
Yep, they certainly doing that. Now, Smullen has taken this fight at relatively short notice. Peter Maniatis has joined us again.
Let's get it on!
Smullen's had a great outfit.
Round one.
He's won a national title in the amateurs for the league, and he's been to Japan in kickbox. He's never been sat down. He's got a fantastic chin.
Yes.
Very tough boy.
He's an outstanding kickboxer, Smullen. He really knew how to do it, didn't he, Peter?
Yeah, definitely.
And we saw him not so long ago at your last promotion, and he acquitted himself remarkably well, didn't he?
A gusty effort up against Shannon McMahon. But
yeah, that's right.
Nick Tetoros, this is for his title. He successfully defends it and moves up to 6th in the world.
Got a ranking in the Australian World Boxing Ray Wheatley rankings now,
This
Peter.
is WBO World. We're looking at a shot at the Marcus Corley.
Yep, understand, yes. But just saying that he's certainly been
we
mentioned.
don't care about the national rankings. I mean, let the young kids have the national titles. We want world titles.
Yes, no doubt about that. And Nick has got that skill, and he's hammering away now at Smullen on the corner there. Smullen sensibly keeping his elbows tucked in and wearing some of that on the arms.
Look at the concentration on Nick. Just look at it. It's copybook stuff. Any young boxer could do well to watch Nick. He is a textbook boxer.
Slapping away at the back of Smullen then.
Smullen wild with a right hand.
Oh, at left hook. Just missed then from Smullen, but Nick works in. And Nick Tetoros in fantastic physical condition again. Presented remarkably well.
He really is a fine physical specimen, isn't he?
He's one of the fittest junior welders I've seen, I'd say, Nick Tetoros.
I must say, I thought Smullen's put a bit of bulk on his arms, his upper arms there. He looks a little less gangly than the last time I saw him, Stephen.
Yeah, I think he realised he needed to improve the strength factor, Robert, there, because he was lacking that against McMahon. And now Smullen is trying to maintain a position there, ring centre there. Tetoros moving around beautifully and then repositioning himself straight on. So he's flexible, Tetoros. I love the way he sets himself up.
Oh, he's got beautiful flexibility and good lateral movement.
The other thing with Tetoros, look at his guard. He keeps his guard right up. You're going to be a very brave boxer who'll get through his guard.
No doubt about that. A nice punch there came through before from Nick. And again, that straight left, that's a killer punch for Tetoros, that straight left. He's got such a strong punch for a junior welder.
You look at how he keeps the gloves up at all times. His body is side on. He's always protecting himself against anything.
Yeah, very competent and well-rated fighter, Tetoros.
Well, he's the ultimate boxing scientist, this bloke, let's face it.
Oh, a bit of a stumble there from Nick. Smullen coming in hard on Tetoros on the ropes. is slapping away. Nick Tetoros in a bit of trouble here at the moment on the ropes. Now what's McCubbin going to do? He's going to put a standing 8 count on Nick Tetoros. He's walking to his corner, dancing now, Nick. He was a little bit groggy from a punch from Smullen there. Peter, what do we say?
That's about round 1.
And Amanda Buchanan is giving plenty of instructions to Smullen there.
Well, she was telling him to run right in. She thought that she had her man had Nick Tetoros in a vulnerable position then and told him to attack.
Well, let's face it, who would ever have thought that Smullen would have Nick Tetoros on the receiving end of a standing 8 count in the first round? It's quite surprising, Peter.
Big puncher, Ben Smullen.
Yeah, well, once again, Peter, congratulations on a great matchup here. You know, it really is a credit to you being able to put these two boys together, and particularly in the context of the 11th hour in which Ben Smullen took this.
Ben Smullen keeps himself fit. Down at the Underworld Gym, they train virtually all the time. Amanda Buchanan has her fighters always ready to take fights.
2.
She's not bad at doing Smullen's grooming. She adjusted the ponytail so that he looks his best, Stephen.
Yes, I don't know whether or not that design is appropriate for boxing because we saw him have trouble with his hair last time. But anyway, at the moment he's got Tetoros a little bit on the back foot at the moment there, Ben Smullen.
Yep, he has. Nick has to recover now.
But that's the beauty of boxing.
Oh! Jab landed on the jaw of Smullen from Tetoros.
Well, Tetoros will be out to square the ledger, mark my words. Oh boy, he will.
And that looks a bit angry at the moment, Nick. He just want to compose himself a bit more, I'd say, at the moment.
Smullen's being a bit cheeky. He's grinning at Tetoros, which is not a smart thing to do in the boxing ring.
Smullen's got grown in a bit of confidence here at the moment. He feels like he can keep going here. Nick throws out a straight right. Smullen too far away there, and the boys Nick will have to find his range. He does. He comes in, moves in there, trying to get the left into the body region, straight left, and again into the stomach, the solar plexus, just above the stomach. And again there, Tetoros now flying away at Smullen, and McCubbin splits him up. The interesting part of the fight already in the second round there about where these two are currently at in this bout. Smullen having won the first round. And Nick throws out the straight right. And left hook just missed. In fact, I waved the hair of Smullen. Now Smullen trying to protect himself there. Nick, big left from Nick Tetoros now. He might be starting to find his range.
Smullen's headpiece has come off. It's on the canvas here. His thing that holds his ponytail together, that tassel on the top, you can see it on the canvas. It could pose a risk to the boxers, Stephen.
Yeah, I don't know whether
McCubbin's
thrown that out. He doesn't have anything to do with that.
Yep, he's thrown it out. One of the problems with Smullen, and now his hair falls over his eyes, which is pretty stupid, really.
Well, I can't see why he'd present like that. It just can't do him any good at all. But anyway, that's his worry. But he's complaining there to get a low punch. I'm not sure, but Tetoros now, he's got him in a headlock, Smullen, and Smullen with a right hand clipped. Big punch from Smullen goes to canvas. He did get a big punch earlier on and then fell more than anything else. But a big punch earlier that landed around about the jawline, and that sent him to the canvas. So now Nick comes in, big left hand, that vicious straight left, and now Tetoros pumps away at Smullen. McCubbin nearly got jammed into the neutral corner there, now gets out of the way. And Tetoros there hammering away at Smullen, who covers up. And the Tetoros camp over there going mad at the moment. There goes the ball.
Round 2.
Ben Smullen, he's got a blood nose out of that, I think.
There's a blood from the nostrils, Stephen. It's a very dazed Smullen. And they're getting his hair rearranged, as well as Smullen's in some degree of distress, Stephen.
Well, gee whiz, I don't know whether or not he's going to go on with this, because Amanda Buchanan is asking him the question, are you all right? Well, he got hit by the Southern Aurora then Ben Smullen, as Tetoros found his region. Peter Maniatis has run around from the commentary area, and he's now in the corner. And he's launching a little bit of a verbal barrage at his fighter over there, Nick Tetoros.
Smullen is quite distressed, Stephen. He's not looking at all well at the moment. I think he will have great difficulty lasting this round.
He's nodding, he'll go on.
Amanda Buchanan isn't even attempting to adjust his hairstyle.
Seconds out, round 3.
His survival is probably where we're at this point for Ben. It's unbelievable, you know. We've had an 8-10 first round against Tetoros, and he just got a 10-8 back. So what a turnaround. Oh, and Tetoros now.
Tetoros is on fire.
He's angry, Nick. No doubt about that he's very angry with his first round performance, and he's...
Smullen can't see through this hair. He keeps flicking it back, which is a distraction. It's silly, Stephen. I just saw him flick it when Tetoros is coming in. That's just madness.
It doesn't help Robert at all. Mainly to go to the barber you and I go to, I think. But anyway, Tetoros now flaps the right hand around to the rib cage of Smullen, and McCubbin calls him back in. Oh, now Nick throws that straight left. That's a vicious punch.
He got a hook on him there that connected with Smullen, Stephen.
Nick is now positioning himself and pummeling away now with some very heavy artillery.
A magnificent left that absolutely rocked Smullen. A right that's rocked him. A combination of the belly.
He's struggling here, Smullen. Not so much resistance, and a blood nose profusely there, bleeding. And he's gone, Smullen. I'd say he's taken a ton of punishment here, and the towel's gone in anyway.
Towel's been thrown.
They won't let him go on. That's the end of it. And Smullen is in all sorts of trouble here.
Terribly distressed.
Oh, and an accident in the Tetoros corner. Someone fell off the ropes in an effort to get the belt round the boy. It might have been Nick's dad, I think.
Smullen is terribly distressed.
And Amanda Buchanan brings Smullen and Peter Lewis guard him back to the corner there, and they're looking for some assistance with a stool.
The ringside position.
As the stool comes in, and
Smullen is not well. The doctor's having a look at him, Stephen.
Nick Tetoros is very happy after what you'd say was a slow start for him.
Yeah.
Oh, but what a finish. Was he strong in rounds 2 and 3 with a KO in the third round with enormous body shots and head punches from Nick Tetoros. Absolute champ. Ken James at ringside gives Nick his seal of approval from Ken James there, the well-known actor and TV and film actor.
Robert and Skippy the Bush Kangaroo, wasn't he? The helicopter pilot or something, Stu, and I seem to remember that. Stephen, I wanted to comment on the fact I think that Smullen was really silly with that long hairstyle. I always boxed with a crew cut, and I had it shaved the day before so I could rake it over my opponent's face. It was a bit of a tactic which doesn't seem to be used too much these days, and
would have thought you would have indulged in such behaviour, Robert, but there's no doubt that I do agree with you here that Smullen doesn't need those sort of distractions when he's fighting. He's recovered somewhat now. He spoke to Howard Lee.
Well, I saw it get in his eyes when Tetoros then hit him with a jab. I mean, it was just silly.
He got hammered with some big shots. Peter Meniatis thanks him for taking the fight on very recently, but he's as fit and strong as he can be, Ben Smullen. Nick Tetoros just happens to be world class.
Well, I think Smullen's got might even be a broken nostril there. It's bleeding profusely.
Yes, he could well have. Certainly, perhaps
we'll cross now to Howard Lee, Stephen.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you to our ringside commentators on Channel 31, Team Promotion, Stephen Peake and Robert Cameron. Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 1 minute, 11 seconds of round 3. Your winner by knockout, retaining his WBO Asia Pacific Junior Welterweight Championship, the Terror, Nick Tetoros. Peter Meniatis. Peter, what was a rocky road last night turned out to be a night of intrigue and action, culminating in our main event.
Ben Smullen's a very dangerous boy. Gee, I take my hat off to Ben Smullen. He took the bat on 24-hour notice. He shook us. He shook our world there for a little while. And Nick's tough enough to come back. But gee, Ben is a dangerous opponent. I respect the man for taking the bat on short notice. And he put up a great performance. He showed a lot of heart. Everyone's got to put their hand together. The guy's a warrior. What can we say? Next Friday night on Channel 31, Watch the replay of the fights tonight. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. We've got a boxing show. We've got Stan the Man Longinidis on as a guest. We're going to have Howard Lee on as well. We're going to be talking about the Foxtel issue. Howard Lee's been blocked out by Foxtel. As far as I'm concerned, he's the best compare man in Australia, but they won't give him a go. Andy Raymond's on borrowed time. I'd also like to thank Don Carrot from the Seville Hotel. He's been fantastic. We've had all the boxers up there and he's treated us like gold. Thanks, Don. And the next show's July the 11th. Nick will be defending his title again up against Brad Hemming, who were meant to fight. So this time Hemming's got a front. And you saw the way Nick fights tonight. He's not going to duck anyone. He comes straight for you and he puts himself on the line and he's there to be hit and he whacks them, and that's what pro boxing's all about. Thank you for everyone turning up. Have a safe trip home.
Peter Maniatis, Team Promotions. Nick, it's all yours.
Thanks, Howard. You know, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Showed a lot of heart there. Thanks for the fight. I never won the fight on the night. I won it with my team, and the effort and the support from my team. I'd like to thank all my corner, especially Peter Maniatis, putting on wonderful promotions. Peter Slako, Peter Churin, Nick Matthews, my brother Jimmy, all my dad, my supporters, all the lovers that have come down from Perth. Love you guys, thanks very much. Thank you. And most of all, Archie, Roy, thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. Harvard Security down there. Thanks, guys. And Anex. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Anex, Masashi, Black and Blue, and all you wonderful people for coming out tonight, for the wonderful support. Thank you.
Beautifully said, Ben Smullen. Ben, you didn't let anybody down. You came to fight. In fact, you won a standing 8 count against Nick Tetoros in the first round, but he just blew you away in the finish. Bad luck.
Yeah, he got me the body. I love fighting. I took the fight on 24 hours notice. I'm a bit sick, but I like it. It's fun. Happy birthday to Steve, my trainer. It's his birthday today, so I wish I could have provided him with a win.
And his mother, Faye, too.
Hey, his mother's Faye's birthday too, is it? Go on. And yeah, I got to thank everyone from the underworld, and hopefully you'll see me to high boxing next on the 30th of March. I much prefer my knees and elbows and Thai boxing rather than me boxing, but it's good. It really complements it. And congratulations to Nick. He's a good champion. So.
Beautifully said, Ben. Okay, 3 cheers for Nick Tetoros. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Okay, on behalf of Peter Maniatis, protect yourself at all times, both physically and emotionally. For those about to rock, here we go!
Well, Stephen, we'll just do our customary wrap-up, and we have been joined for our wrap-up by well-known Albert Park boxing identity, Mark Finnegan. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, Robert. How are you, Stephen?
Good to see you, Mark Finnegan there, well-known. He loves his boxing. He trains in the gymnasium, Mark. We had a good night here tonight. How do you look outside, especially the controversial Stack Robinson bout? Have you ever seen anything like that before?
I never ever seen anything like that before in my life, Stephen. It was the most controversial indoor fight. Boring fight, I must say, during the proceedings, but very, very controversial end.
Certainly wasn't. The rules were brought into bearing, and no doubt there'll be a rematch between those two boys, between Stack and Robinson down the line, because I think unfinished business was the situation there, and you can't have anyone jump into a ring during a fight at all.
Tell me, Stephen, I understand you're the eyes and ears of the Victorian Boxing Control Board. Have you had any feedback as to what the board might do?
Well, the board will hold a hearing into why David Hedgecock of the Stack Corner entered the ring before the fight was ended.
Now, will, of course, David Hedgecock be entitled to natural justice and legal representation?
Oh, there's plenty of that at this table, that's for
sure. Good luck, Michael, tomorrow. Good luck. Local government.
An initial hearing at board level is that the person who was brought before the board normally would not have representation, but would attend a hearing in the first instance And if that person disagreed with the result of that hearing...
Good night, Russell. Good night, guys.
More than likely the Victorian Civil Administrative Tribunal, VCAT.
Look, all I can say is that it's one of the most controversial ends to a fight I've ever seen, and I think
good night, Brian.
National Justice will take its course.
I haven't good.
Number one, yeah, only one. Never mind two. Number one, we'll be there.
So steamed up in my life. Have you, Mark?
No, never.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, John, head of security.
All participants sort of took a backward step and let the ex-kickboxing champion take his...
Well, yeah, I don't think it's an issue that we have to go into individuals as much, but look at the rules and regulations and that they need to be abided by.
Oh, stop being a lawyer, Stephen, and get with boxing.
Get back into the street, Stephen, and get back.
If anything, I would probably like to myself have a word to David at some stage, just to have the discussions with him, a bit of consideration and mediation, to talk it through as to the rural situation, etc. I mean, that's what probably more than anything is required.
That reminds me of when Mick O'Malley suggested that you settle your differences in the ring. I don't think you got in there, did you, Stephen?
No, I don't discuss those issues in public environments, Robert, but Michael O'Malley is a true boxing champion and a lovely gentleman, and I have no difficulty with Mick whatsoever.
Well, that answered my question, Stephen. I was going to ask you why he didn't take up the challenge.
I don't know anything about
it. Have a nice lunch.
Mr. Whittingham, thank you very much. But we need to wrap it up now because we're running out of time and camera mileage upstairs. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, from the Malvern Stadium, this is Robert Cameron on behalf of Mark Bittingham and Stephen J. Peake, and always, how do you do? And we'll see you next time.
Mark.
Good night, Brando De Niro. Thank you, Brando.
Good night. Now the public, just out the back quickly, they were fired up. Were they out there?
Peter, got a great. Thank you for the kind rap, Pete. Well done.
A female cameraman, and things got heated, but it settled itself down.
Excellent. I'm glad you had a great night. We'll be back for the next Maniatis Promotions probably in about 8 to 10 weeks here. And Maniatis Promotions, a fantastic evening at Malvern Town Hall here in the eastern suburbs of Victoria. What a fantastic venue this is for boxing. A riveting night's entertainment, and stay tuned. Channel 31, your boxing station, for a replay in 7 days' time. Thank you very much to Robert Cameron at ringside. We had Peter Maniatis, Mark Finnegan and Misha Mertz for her assistance.
Good night,
from the Herald Sun newspaper.
Billy.
Thank you.
On the stage, Billy.